What's up, lovely people? Marwan Gaming here, and today I'm gonna go through a build that I use for torments that you guys on Twitch have been asking me so much about. And this is just a regular wizard build. Um, I'm quickly gonna go through the skills and gear, and then I'm gonna show you a run. I have one guy here with me at the moment. There are different variations of this build. It's just that this build, uh, I would say I like this one the most. So let's go through the skills. Black hole, basically, you pop it, you get one Tarasha stack. So if you didn't know, here you can see what the 6 set does. I'm not gonna go through so much what the gear does. You'll know this for yourself. So if you just read a little bit, you'll know this. But I will tell you what you need to do at least. You want to proc Tarasha, so you can see here if you read, attacks increase your damage by 750% for 8 seconds. Arcane 5, basically 4 times, 750 times 4 if you get 4 stacks of Tarasha. That's your damage peak. You can only get it once per Archon, and then it's repeat all the time. You will do a lot of damage without those 4 stacks, but it's always good for the first rotation to get that damage in, and then the stacks will just add on and add on and add on. You want them to basically stack the stacks. Here we got another good thing, and that's the force armor. So basically it gives you a lot of armor, and that's good for the build, since this build is not like the Sun Wukong Lashing Tail Kick, for example, where you naturally have a lot of armor from dexterity. So you can see when you pop that, it just bumps up your toughness a lot. And then you got magic weapon deflection, which is also toughness and damage. So you guys do what you want with the skills. I'm just gonna go through what I use and what worked for me. As you can see here, my life is 977k. Quite a lot, actually. I was lucky to get such a good source and a couple of ancient items here. What's good with magic weapon is you don't have to hit an enemy to get this shield to proc. If you see here, when you perform an attack, gain a protective shield that lasts that absorbs 4% of your life in damage. So I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna close the rift. Hope he stays as well, this guy, so I can show you how it looks with someone in the rift. Here we go. Pick up the loot. Basically, you don't need to attack for this. You don't need to attack, like hit something for it to give you the toughness. So once I attack, you can see there's a shield coming up, and that can go up to, on me, 100. Let's see here. Yeah, 195, it says 195k. I don't know if it can go up higher. Yeah, so it goes up higher, 230. That is a lot of damage reduction. So basically, when you go into a rift, you instantly want to just start attacking like this, so you get that toughness, especially in great rifts when toughness is, you know, more of an issue. Hey, just got an upgrade. That is awesome. So in torments, it doesn't matter so much, but when you attack, you get one Tarasha stack when you use Glacial Spike. I am not running Zodiac, so I just use this one here instead. If you run Zodiac, you want to use something like this here, for example. Where is it? You can use Arcane Torrent, and then you need to swap the skills a little bit. You can use Ray of Frost. So there's a couple of different variants you can go with, but this is what works for me with the Avarice Band build. I like Avarice Band. It's a lot of pickup radius. It's movement speed. Movement speed, it's good, but you're gonna blink around a lot or teleport around, so it's okay, at least the bonus. You can see here what Avarice Band does as well. You know, each time you pick up gold, increases your gold and health pickup radius by 1 yard for 10 seconds. So you just get a lot of pickup radius. And combining that with Boon of the Hoarder, now unfortunately Boon of the Hoarder on this one. It would be good if it was on this one so you could read both of them together. But yeah, Boon of the Hoarder, as you can see, it's got a 100% chance of when you kill an enemy, it's gonna just explode. You will see in the rifts, it's gonna explode and give you a lot of gold everywhere. So you will get to that 30% pickup radius instantly. So it's really fast. But as in terms of skill, I use Black Hole Event Horizon. You can switch that to Spell Steal for a little bit more damage. Here, as you can see, it's very, very nice. So for torments, I mean, use whatever you feel like, but one of these at least. So one of these. That's what I recommend. And then obviously, Force Armor, very, very nice. Blink Calamity. I like this one. When you blink and land, you can see it does like every time you blink, there's like a circle around you, and that's actually stuns enemies. That is what solo wizards use when they push as well. It doesn't work. You can't use this build without Calamity for the solo. It's not gonna work. So you need Blink Teleport Calamity. It's a must. So as you can see, this is Arcane and this is Arcane, so it doesn't matter. What's gonna proc 4 stacks is 1, you use Glacial Spike, and 2. And then when you pop Archon and go into Combustion here, it doesn't matter what Archon form you use. You just want to use fire so that you proc your 4 stacks. So 1, 2, 3, and then you hit Lightning Blast, or you can use your beam. That's it, and that's gonna proc 4 stacks. As you can see here, that's the multiplicative damage that you get, and it's really nice for the first rotation when you try to build up your stacks so they overlap. So once I get out of Archon, this is gonna stay for 20 seconds, and that's because I use Swami in the cube, as you can see here. This is not something that you can switch out. You have to use it. It's the best. It's been tested many times, so there is no other way here. You can use Swami on yourself if you got one with 20 seconds, but then it's annoying. You need to get a good Tarasha belt, and the Tarasha belts, they always roll with all resist, so you cannot get secondary resist. Secondary resists are very good because in Archon, you will see when you get stacks, they just multiply and you just get so much. You get sometimes to 10k all resist. Like all of your resistances are up to 10k. Same with armor, it's like 30, 40k armor. It's insane how much toughness you will get. Also with attacks per second. I'm gonna do my best to show you guys how the stats look when I actually enter Archon. Ingium for torments. Like, it doesn't matter if you use Ingium on yourself or if you use a Starfire on yourself. I lucked out. Like, this is okay. It's not the best rolled Starfire, but you can also go with Intelligence, Attack Speed, Cooldown. I'm gonna run through the gear soon, but yeah, you'll see what I'm gonna tell you, what to roll and stuff like that. But that was the skills, guys. You saw the skills here. You can come into my stream and just type build. Probably I will have this build equipped. As in terms of like your passives, this is a must. You are not gonna switch out evocation. This is a must as well, and I really don't need to explain why. You can see, it works well, especially since you want to keep your distance. So you can see here with Zystone of Vengeance what it does. So you want to keep your distance. The beam you will do much more damage when the enemies are further away. So you want to try to keep that distance. And Black Hole can help you sometimes to keep those mobs in that place for that rotation. Paralysis, obviously, you need to use this. It's not going to work with the build, otherwise you will not proc your Mantled Heal, this ring here. So you need Paralysis, otherwise you cannot get this to proc. So you can see what Mantled Heal does when you stun enemies that are, or when the enemies are paralyzed. You can see what it does. And then for the last one, this is a proc. So instead of dying in a rift, you get like an extra chance, you can say, to, you know, survive. So it's a proc to save you from fatal damage. So going through the gear, either Ingium or Starfire on yourself, doesn't matter what. Make sure that the effect from Starfire, if you have it, it's at least 14%, guys. This is important. It helps. So it's a lot of damage. If you 14 to 15%, in my opinion. If you don't have anything better than that, use what you have, guys. Make sure that you use something that is ancient. It is a lot of damage otherwise that you're gonna lose. So this one is pretty good. At the beginning of the season, I do not recommend you to roll 10% damage. I recommend you to keep the intelligence there, and later on in the season, a weapon like this will give you more damage. So you want to roll the damage, like when the intelligence is not as significant of an upgrade anymore. Paragons is always nice, and it's always going to give you damage, but in the end, on the gear, if you can ramp up that damage in some way, you want to do what I did here and get 10% damage. It actually gives me more damage. I saw someone with a primal weapon before, and it had 7% attack speed. It was like 3k damage, and mine gave more. So also 1000 intelligence, mine still gave more. So it's as the more paragon you get, the better a weapon like this becomes. So you want to see the same rolls, like intelligence, attack speed, and cooldown. If the cooldown is lower than 8, I think you're gonna run into a cooldown issue. Like, then everything else has to be perfect, which will be annoying. So at least, I would say at least 8, preferably 10, and attack speed 6 to 7 if that is possible for you guys. And of course, intelligence in the beginning of the season is much better. I rolled this to 10% damage once I saw that, hey, this weapon is now giving me more damage when I roll damage on it. So for the Ingium, make sure that it is 10 seconds, 10 seconds. 9 seconds is annoying sometimes, so this basically reduces your cooldowns by 10 seconds. If it's not perfectly rolled, like if you have it as a drop, it can be 8 seconds. So make sure that you look at that as well. So going through the gear, Fizula. I always say to people that, in my opinion, go, if you have a 50 stack one, as you can see here, you automatically start with 50 stacks. That is, if you read the Veer set here, Archon stacks also increases attack speed and armor by 1%. So when you enter Archon, that is 50% armor when you have Fizulas equipped. That's a very, very good item to use with this build. You need Fizulas. It basically lets you start with a lot of damage reduction and a lot of attack speed, which will let you deal more damage and kill more enemies quicker. So you also, with more attack speed, have an easier time to proc paralysis, which in turn will lead to your manual heal procking and dealing more damage. So this belt is really important. I would say 48, 49, 50 stacks. I would rather use a non-ancient with 50 stacks than an ancient perfectly rolled with 48 stacks. 49, I mean, once you get those stacks up, I think 49 is going to give you more if it's perfectly rolled ancient. I'm not sure though. So I'm just saying, try your best to get one with 50 stacks. I was lucky here. You can see, you can also be very unlucky and get one with 40 stacks. As in terms of stats, this is the perfect combination here. On secondary, I would say that physical resist is the best, but if you get any resist, it's like just get 50 stacks basically. 50 stacks, if you get the same rolls, absolutely perfect. But all resist is not as good as this combination here. So the armor will be more value to you because you're a wizard. You naturally get intelligence from paragon levels and augments. You want to augment int because it gives you damage. You don't want to augment dexterity or strength to get armor. You want to augment int. It is the best. So that's the belt. As in terms of boots and shoulders, they always have to be Veer. There is no Talrasha boots or Talrasha shoulders. So you need to have Veer boots and Veer shoulders. Best rolls on boots is actually not with secondary resist. It is actually intelligence, vitality, armor, and all resist. That's the best combination. So if you get that, you're super lucky with you know, well rolled stats. I'm not going to say no to something like that. It's pretty good as well. But the best is all resist. It gives you more resistance, especially since when you go into Archon, as you will see when I go into Archon later and get some stacks, this will just jump and jump and jump up and multiply, and it's crazy how much toughness you will get. So in terms of gloves, helm, and pants, you can be more flexible. It doesn't matter if it's Veer here or Talrasha there. Doesn't matter. Use what you get. That is the best. As in terms of gloves, I think that intelligence, crit, cooldown is the best. I have one here that I can show you. I think this is the best stats and what you should focus on in the beginning of the season. I'm just trying out these gloves and seems to be working just fine. But here, something like this. With secondary resist, obviously, if it's possible. But if you get something like this with high crit, primal is always maxed stats anyways, go for it. So I just went with these because the other pants were not as good. These rolled with physical resist, so you can be flexible. The only thing you cannot be flexible with is these three parts. This always have to be Veer, always have to be Veer, and always have to be Talrasha, because these always roll with attack speed. So best stats on these, I would say, is yeah, of course, intelligence, vitality, and obviously 7% attack speed. Then instead of percent life, little bit later on in the season, I would roll the percent life, if I could, into elite damage reduction. So as in terms of secondary, either physical resist or ranged damage reduction. It's super hard to get a combination like that. You go with what you have, preferably ancient. It's just going to give you so much more damage. Well, as in terms of gloves, as I told you guys, very important. Get cooldown on it, and crit, and then intelligence, of course, always rolls naturally. Shoulders. Problem with these shoulders are they always roll with all resist. So what you want to do is, if you get one like I did that naturally rolled with vitality and cooldown, you want to roll the all resist into percent life. This is going to give you the most toughness that you can get. So it's going to give you more toughness than something that had all resist. And of course, if this one had higher stats, it would be even better. But it's good enough to use. So that's the stats I prefer. And always, this has to have cooldown. This has to have cooldown. This has to have cooldown, cooldown, and obviously cooldown. And in helm, a white gem for cooldown again. Some people, they are fine with going lower cooldown, but the breakpoint that you need to reach in order for it not to be as annoying of a build as, you know, sometimes when you don't find elites and stuff, it becomes really annoying to keep Archon up all the time. So the more cooldown, the better. But the minimum amount is 62.60. So that is your goal to reach, and then you can reach higher. I like to play with higher cooldown. It allows you to make mistakes. So if you play bad, or if you get feared or something like that, it is just nicer with more cooldown. Unfortunately, my weapon rolled with 8 and this rolled with 6. I think that I would be sitting at like 65.50, something like that, if this was perfect and this was perfectly rolled. But I'm fine. You will see in the Rift, if I have enough elites, it's gonna go well. Average span, mine didn't roll so good. Obviously, you want crit and cooldown on this. It's better than intelligence, crit and cooldown. So the crit damage is actually more worth here than the intelligence. Your mantled heal, you want something that looks like this. The secondary matters. It's from 13,000 to 14,000. I don't remember how much of a difference it is from 13 to 14,000 in terms of damage, but I think it's like 8-10% more damage, and that is huge. That is huge amount of damage that you're gonna lose if you have a badly rolled mantled heal. So make sure that the secondary paralysis is actually rolled as high as possible. That is really good. And crit cooldown on your rings. That is a really good combination. Amulet, you could skip the cooldown here if you have everything else perfectly rolled cooldown on everything else. Then you're gonna sit at 62.60. Then you could skip your amulet's cooldown, and if you have a primal ancient or ancient, you could go crit average damage, crit intelligence. I suggest go higher on the cooldown, guys. It is nicer to play. This is just a suggestion, so you know, do what you want with it. Helm, these stats, perfect stats. Instead of experience, pickup radius or crowd control reduction is really good. So one of those, I would say. So let's say you get jailed when you're out of Archon or something like that, then the crowd control reduction are good. It's good sometimes when you do great rifts. If a mob gets to fear you or something like that, you get out of that a little bit quicker. But physical resist, I would say, really important here, and obviously int, vitality, and crit. It always rolls with the int, so you don't have to worry. I think it always rolls with crit. I'm not sure though. So I think it's always intelligence, crit, but I'm not sure. So this is the stats that you're looking for anyways. Amulet, this is my favorite combination. Crit cooldown. Obviously, if it's ancient and have higher rolls, that's better. But this is what I got. I rolled a lot of amulets and I didn't get a better one. Nemesis bracers, definitely go for Nemesis bracers, guys. This is important here. You need to have lightning on this. If you don't have lightning, what's gonna happen is when you enter Archon, your beam is not gonna be lightning. As you can see, when I'm gonna enter Archon next time, it's gonna become lightning. So you need to have one piece with lightning, and that is not amulet. You can't get cooldown on bracers, but you can get it on your amulet. So I will show you when I go into Archon the next time. You need to have lightning on your bracers. It's a must. Otherwise, you're not gonna proc. You're not gonna get lightning damage. So look here. Now it's lightning. So it is a must, guys. You need to get lightning on your bracers. Use whatever you have in the beginning, and then try to get Nemesis bracers. Something like this is really good with int, vitality, and obviously crit and lightning. Secondary doesn't matter so much. Range damage reduction, pickup radius, physical resist, one of those, super nice. I got cold, I don't care. It's not gonna matter so much. Pants, you want armor here. Int, vitality, armor, and physical resist if it's possible. If it's not, take whatever you have. It's worth augmenting in the beginning if it's ancient, and yeah, it just gives you more damage. And for the source, since we're doing a build that is not using, that doesn't need any APOC, that is arcane power and crit, I go with vitality. So that's perfect. If you'd use Zodiac, then I would say go with APOC here. But otherwise, this is the perfectly rolled Tarasha source. Gems, Zystone for torment, good. So the further away you stay, the more damage. Make sure that you're not further away than 50 yards. So let's say I blink over here. Yeah. So blink as far as you can and hold down hold down your beam, and it's gonna be 50 yards because the blink is 50 yards, so it's gonna be perfect. I took that from a friend, he told me about it. So stay on the boss and then blink away as far as possible. That's gonna be 50 yards. That's gonna be perfect. Gem, Boon of the Hoarder, works perfectly well with average span. I'm gonna take it out so you can see together. There you go. As you can see here, each time you pick up gold increases your gold and health pickup radius by 1 yard for 10 seconds, stacking up to 30 times. And then you got 100% chance on killing an enemy to cause an explosion of gold, and then movement speed for 2 seconds. Basically, this is gonna let you have this almost all the time. Almost all the time you're gonna have this pickup radius bonus. So it's super nice, especially since you don't want to walk over the globes like this. This is super annoying. Like the monk build that I have, you need to get pickup radius rolled on the gear because you're not using average band. But this build, you're using average band for the torments. It just helps, and it's just so much nicer. Obviously, Bane of the Trapped gives a lot of damage, and it's super nice, as you can see here. So those are the 3 gems I use and I like to use. Let's go into the rift. Let's see where it is. Let's just check the build, how it works. I'm gonna let him complete this rift and then I'll hop on in. Now I'm just gonna help him complete, and then but you can see this is just T12, so it's fairly easy here. Also, one piece of advice I can give you is try to farm with someone. If you farm alone, you have there's less chance of you actually finding upgrades, and it's just boring just sitting alone all the time. You have someone to talk to and share loot with. I got so many good items from people that I actually played with this season. So I got this compass rose today, for example, from a necromancer in my group, and it's a very nice compass rose. So try to farm with someone all the time. So we're gonna go into the rift, and I'm gonna do my best to show you the stats. There we go. Pop those 2, bam bam, and then go in, and you can see the damage went up, and you can see here how the damage ramps up. Same with the toughness here. It ramps up all the time. Let's check the map. You just need to hold down your beam, and that's it. You don't need Zodiac, guys. You can see, as long as you have decent elite density, you don't need Zodiac. You're gonna be fine on the cooldown, and the damage is absolutely absurd. It is really good. It is not quite as good as the monk and nice, because there's a chance you'll proc paralysis, but monk always gets that huge damage output, so it's much nicer in my opinion with Samwuka monk. But you can see everything just melts here, and we're 2-player. I just want to get away from him so I can show you how the build is when I'm on my own. You can see this just explodes here, everything. Let's see the toughness. You can see here, it's very easy to get over 30k and 10k all resist. It's so easy. So you can see everything just dies instantly. Super nice build, fast, and no need for Zodiac, guys. Zodiac, it can be good at the beginning of the season when you have cooldown problems because you don't have perfect cooldown on your gear. So that's fine then. But you can see here I don't have any problem whatsoever popping this. Sometimes if you watch my stream you can see me complain when I get the absolute worst rift ever and there's no elites on the map. Then I'm gonna baby rage. But yeah, it happens to all of us, dude. But you saw the build, guys. No toughness issues whatsoever. It works in the beginning of the season. Don't worry, guys. I did Great Rift 70 instantly on the first day. As soon as I got the full gear and everything I needed for the gear, I think it was Paragon 3, 400 maybe, instantly the Great Rift 70 done. And it's not difficult. If you need help with that, come to my chat on Twitch, and we're gonna try to help you out with that. But yeah, that's the build, guys. If you got any questions, hop on my Twitch channel and just ask. We're gonna do our best to help you. See you guys later. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day or night.